Hi everyone. Still week one, discussion post two. I'm actually really taking advantage of doing these videos because I've done a lot of writing in my time at Faith Path, and my other class is basically all writing. So this has been like a really good opportunity for me to still strengthen my skills in front of a camera. So anytime I see that, I try to take that opportunity. I wanted to get a little bit further ahead, but I didn't get as far ahead as I wanted to in this class so far, but I really enjoyed my break, which was much needed since I don't get to see my son all that often, and he was home visiting for the holiday. So that was nice. So action research. This has been a whirlwind already. I knew this class was going to be like this. Because it's very difficult to find something to focus on. But basically, I feel like an action research is finding out what I'm passionate about, or it may not even necessarily need to be a full blown on passion, but perhaps something that's been nagging at me. And I take that and I understand how I can apply it or relate it to others, and then either fill in a sort of that sort of void, either within a certain group or within society, or even perhaps within myself to, like, help both of us, and how to create a process to engage people. um, Self-directedness is something I'm pretty familiar with. One thing that you might not know about me is I homeschooled my 4 children. So I was very big on self-directed learning. Even though I set up a very educational environment and I set the ball rolling with a lot of them, I really encouraged them, each of my children, to find topics that encourage them. And I just really kind of taught them that information is all around us, and we may take it in differently. Um, but if you're inspired and you're motivated by something, you can go out there and find that information, by asking people, and everybody learns a little bit differently. So whether it's taking an online program or reading books, just different ways. So self-directedness, I'm very aware of, but some of the key things with it, experience. I remember explaining to somebody that a child could read about something that's slimy, but not really understand what sliminess is until they touch a salamander, or make slime and feel what it feels like. So you can also have experience of something that's very difficult or traumatic, but you can use that to become a passion or an opportunity. You learn something from it and you turn that into an opportunity. Self-directed can also come out of motivation and desire, um, and it could also be a focus or a passion. One thing that I believe self-directed needs is time management, especially for this project. That's something I feel like I've always struggled with. I've tried a little bit over the years to set up different things, but time management, I tend to come really focused in on something, and maybe sometimes a little bit more perfectionist about it, and that's where I found the difficulty is of time kind of slipping away from me because of that. So it's still something I'm improving on, and hopefully this project will help me, fine-tune those skills a little bit more. But basically, action research is in our project to in the end be something that inspires or empowers people or teaches people or encourages change. I really enjoyed the article that was in the Greater Good magazine, 6 ways to help people change. Number one, lead by example, and that is so true. I think that's what makes us watch books or read books or watch movies that are true stories about somebody that either succeeded or, went through adversity and made out in the end. But I think that's why we watch those things, because we're inspired and encouraged by other people. So that's what also we can do, is create good habits for ourselves, to lead others to good habits. But I understand that people are human, including myself. So I think that aspect, to understand that we are all human. Number two, suggest goals. Um, this is good. You can suggest goals to people and it may help them. In my line of work, um, I'm a parent educator for teen parents, and I do see some of my clients are very motivated to begin with, so they'll take the goal suggestions or they'll even brainstorm their own, but others just don't seem to have that motivation. And that's a question that I constantly ask myself. And like what motivates some people, and why do we have the others? Three, give the right kind of feedback. So this part was really interesting in the article, because it was saying don't just give positive feedback to people, give negative too. And I was thinking about that, and um, for this project, for my topic, I actually came up with a survey and I submitted it this week, and I was getting a lot of really great feedback and positive feedback. And then I got one comment that said, this survey is one-sided and stupid. And I was like, oh, okay. So I really was like focused in on that. And even though I kind of focused on a negative, I tried to break down my survey and I was like, why did the person think that this was one-sided? And in some aspects I can see, because I did try to ask questions that I wasn't necessarily comfortable with to find out information. But I was discussing with my husband that I could see how he might think it's one-sided, but it was also difficult when you're focusing and you're trying to narrow something down to do a project. Um, it is difficult to not be a little one-sided, to try to tunnel your focus in. But it did give me the opportunity to really see some errors in my survey. So that was a good motivator. Four, support good habits, which we should encourage each other to constantly do, and ourselves. Number five, take advantage of laziness. So I basically narrow this down to like just set up your environment to know your laziness. So for the last few years, I've been following something called Miracle Morning. It's like rising up a little bit early, setting your day with some certain habits. So I've learned a few habits from that because I've been following for a few years. So for my alarm that's on my cell phone, I actually set it out in my hallway that's outside my bedroom. So when it goes off in the morning, I am forced to get up out of bed and shut it off. I also try to respect my husband because he works second shift, so he doesn't get up as early as I do. So it really forces me to jump out of bed and shut it off. But if it's next to my nightstand, I typically shut it off. So that's been a good habit, knowing that I'm lazy and I'll just hit the snooze button to know myself and set it up. Six, develop support networks. And I believe that that's a lot of what this project is about. Whether you're making a brochure or you're starting a Facebook group, there's definitely increased good habits and good accomplishing your goals by surrounding yourself with other like-minded people. Um, sorry. So now I will go to think about, just in this whole process of empowering change, it's sometimes very difficult. So I'm reading a book right now, Everything is Figure Outable, by Marie Forleo, which is like a really great book. But she talks about belief systems, and she's saying when you change a belief, you change everything. And that's true with motivation, and that could be true with this project. Like, who am I trying to reach? Why do I want to reach them? Like, what is my end game in this project? And how do I want to inspire in people or heal people? Like, whether it's, whatever the habit is, that belief has to be changed. And an example I can use is, like, I always think I can't learn a language, and I'm trying to change that belief system. Like, I can, with practice and persistence. I don't want to think I'm one of those non-language learners, because once I get that mindset, it's going to be difficult to change. So whatever my top is, I'm trying to help somebody break a habit, or I'm trying to heal people. Everything is figure outable, and this project is figure outable. It seems like so daunting the next 6 weeks, or like it's going to seem long, but it's also going to seem very short for the amount of work that we have to do. But like she says, everything is figure outable. So I'm looking forward to the next 6 weeks with you guys. We got this. What's our end game?